welcome to day 3 of your 5-day yoga challenge with me, Helena. So in today's video, we're going to be focusing on opening into the hips. We're going to start off with a nice gentle hip opener here, taking the palms of the feet together, lying down onto our mat, and taking the hands one onto the belly, one onto the chest. This one's called Supta Baddha Konasana, a really nice gentle opening into the groin. An option here, if it just doesn't feel right for your body, planting the soles of the feet onto the ground like so. As long as this does feel good, gently closing the eyes with your next exhale. And taking a few long, deep breaths here. Noticing how the body's feeling today and whether there's any overall mood in the body. With each exhale, having that sensation of letting it go. Letting the body melt towards the mat. And taking a few final breaths here, like this. Before we move on to the more active part of today's practice. On your next inhale, gently flickering open the eyes, taking the knees into the chest, giving yourself a little hug here, and maybe rocking those knees gently side to side. Getting a nice gentle massage into the spine here. And then if and when you feel ready, taking some rocks with the hands underneath the thighs or around the shins to come into a seated cross-legged position at the top of the mat. Taking 4 or 5 rocks in order to get there. And once you come to a seated position, making sure that the sit bones are nice and comfortable here, so we can take a gentle twist to either side. Taking the right hand behind the right hip, left hand onto the right thigh, inhaling, lifting, lengthening, exhaling to twist. Inhaling again, getting that lift, getting that lengthen. Exhaling to twist, taking one more like this. Having that gentle suck of the belly button towards the spine. On your next inhale, moving the body through center over to the opposite side. So this time, left hand behind the left hip, right hand onto the outside of the left thigh. Inhale, lifting, lengthening. Exhaling to twist, engaging the belly. Taking a final long, deep round of breath here. Moving the body back through to center, rocking the body over onto all fours or using the hands around one side in order to get you there. Stacking the hands underneath the shoulders, knees under the wrists. We'll take 3 rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, lifting the crown of the head. Exhale, dome in the top of the back, taking the gaze to the belly button. Just beginning to warm up a little more with the spine. Inhaling again, taking the gaze up. Exhale to get that nice dome. Final round here. And on your next exhale, bringing the body back through to that neutral tabletop, stacking the hands in front of you so that you can get that nice opening into the hips, into the spine, coming into your downward dog. Checking the hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart, and pedaling them out like we've done on the last 2 days. Pedaling out the dog, making maybe some movements into the hips. And then we're going to lift gently with the right heel towards the ceiling, coming into what we call a 3-legged dog. And it really doesn't matter if the foot is just a few inches off the ground. If that makes you feel the stretch into that left leg, then that's what's right for you. Focusing on the 2 hands which are pushing into the ground and that left foot into the ground. And then also flexing the right toes towards the face. One more inhale here. Exhale, dropping the right foot on the ground, coming onto the opposite side. So this time lifting with the left heel. 3-legged dog on the opposite side. Using the hands to grip the ground, pushing that right foot to the ground and flexing the left toes towards the face. Gently dropping the foot back onto the ground, walking both feet behind the hands at the top of the mat. Taking hands onto the shins, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, fingertips up, gazing up towards the ceiling. Exhale, drawing the hands back through heart center, coming back into our fold. Inhale, hands onto the shins, halfway lift. We're moving a little bit faster than we have done in the last 2 days. Exhale, dropping the hands to the ground, taking the right foot back, followed by the left. We're coming to our high plank for 3 long deep breaths, building strength into our shoulders. Always an option here to take the knees to the mat. Taking one more long round of breath, inhaling here deeply. Exhaling here smoothly, drawing up to the sky with the hips. On your next inhale, lifting with the right heel towards the ceiling, 3-legged dog. And then we're slowly going to draw that foot forward so we can place the foot between the hands. And we're going to lift up gently into what we call a high lunge. Reaching the fingertips up and checking you can see the big toe just poking out there. Inhaling here deeply. Exhaling here smoothly, maybe coming a little bit deeper into the pose. Inhaling here once more. Exhale, we're going to turn the back foot 90 degrees. Gaze going over that front middle finger, bending into the front knee. This one's called a warrior 2. Inhaling here to straighten with the front leg. Exhaling, bending a little bit deeper. And one of the things I find hardest about this pose is trying to keep the arms level. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Taking one more inhale here. Exhale, we're going to take the hands onto either side of that front right foot, taking the right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Wriggling out the hips before we move on to the opposite side. When you're ready to, lifting with the left heel, 3-legged dog. Exhale, gently moving that foot forward, placing it between the hands, lifting up into your high lunge. Checking if you can see the big toe, otherwise moving forward with that front foot. Finding that nice deep opening into the hip flexor. If it feels too much, you can always come onto that back knee. Inhaling here deeply. Exhaling here smoothly. Gently turning onto that back right foot, 90 degrees. Gaze over this front middle finger. And again, see if you can relax the shoulders, keeping the arms level, bending into that front knee. Inhaling here to straighten. Exhaling to bend. Taking one more inhale here. And then cartwheeling hands onto either side of that front left foot, taking the left foot back to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Moving into the more intense hip openers here. Really juicy, nice things to do. Inhaling to lift with the right foot. And we're going to exhale to draw that knee forward and gently place the foot onto the outside of the right hand. Dropping that right knee to the ground, we're coming here into a lizard lunge. Option, if this doesn't quite feel enough for you, you want something a bit juicier, turning onto the side of that right foot. And then maybe making some movements, or a third final variation, taking the forearms down to the ground. Find what works for you, and you should never be more than about 7 out of 10. An option to keep this dynamic, keeping it moving. Notice what your body needs today. Taking a couple more long deep breaths here. And then if you've come onto the forearms, using the hands to guide the body back through to center. And then heel toeing this right foot behind the left wrist so that you can gently drop that right knee to the ground and check in that that back leg's staying relatively straight. And always an option here to place a block underneath the sit bones to keep the hips level. Here we're setting up for a sleeping pigeon. So first you're just checking in that the hips are level, and then if and when you're ready to, using the forearms onto the mat and resting the forehead onto the forearms. Here we should be feeling the stretch into this right glute. It's a really good stretch for runners, cyclists, anyone who does a lot of that kind of cardio exercise where the IT bands tend to get really knotted up. Taking some long deep breaths here. And on each inhale, creating that space. And the exhale, maybe melting the body weight a little bit deeper towards the mat. Taking a final long, deep round of breath here. Option to pause the video if it's feeling good and you want to stay in this juicy stretch for a little bit longer. Otherwise, using the hands onto either side of the mat so that we can curl under with the left toes. Take the right foot back to meet the left. Back into your favorite downward facing dog. Bending the knees as much as we need to. And on your next inhale, lifting with that left heel towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, drawing that foot forward, placing it onto the outside of the left hand, dropping the right knee to the ground, setting up for lizard on the opposite side. So maybe it's just staying like so and you're feeling that good stretch into the hip flexor, and that's perfectly fine. If not, maybe it's turning onto the side of the left foot, or a final option is to come onto the forearms. Do what your body needs to find that 7 out of 10 position. And wherever you get to, remembering to breathe. If you can't follow the breath, it means that you're going to intensity, so easing out of the pose gently. You can always come into a more intense variation when you're more warmed up, or you're more developed in your yoga practice. Finding a few final breaths here. Inhaling here, final time deeply. Exhaling smoothly. Using the hands to guide the body back through to an upright position. And then heel toeing this left foot behind the right wrist. Dropping the left knee behind dropping the left knee behind the left wrist. Coming into this nice upright pigeon to begin. Beginning just by engaging with the glutes, keeping the spine nice and open. Chest opening forward, and then option is to come onto the forearms for that juicy hip opener in your sleeping pigeon. Maybe using the forearms as a headrest, or maybe you don't quite go all that far. Wherever's right for you, finding that 7 out of 10 position. And remembering, of course, to breathe. Option again to pause the video if you want to stay here a little bit longer. Otherwise, just one long final breath here. Using the hands to guide the chest back upright. And rather than coming back into our downward facing dog, this time we're going to be taking the palms of the feet together, knees coming out to the sides. We're coming into a final Baddha Konasana, so a nice opening into the groin. Option is to stay where we are with the hands behind the hips, and see if you can draw by using the body weight, the knees towards the mat. If you're looking for something more intense and you're quite open naturally into the groin area, maybe it's taking the hands around the feet, opening up like a page of the book, and then leaning forward with the chest, but trying to keep a straight spine here until you find that nice maximum where you can allow the head and the neck to relax, but trying to keep the spine straight. Taking a few final breaths. And then really gently uncurling the body. Coming back to a cross-legged seated position if that feels good to you. Hands onto the thighs, closing the eyes for a final deep breath. Inhaling through the nose. Using the whole capacity of the lungs, and then exhale through the mouth, letting it all out. Opening the eyes gently. Well done for completing day 3 of your 5-day yoga challenge. Looking forward to seeing you for the final 2 days starting tomorrow. Thank you.